Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. It's one of those slimline type cards, and it'll fit in a regular business size envelope. So let's get started here. Oops, where's the stamp sets? Alright, I'm using the flowering tulips. I'm going to use this sentiment. I'm not using any of the stamps in it at this point, but okay. Using Pear Pizzazz. This is 3 by 4 1/4. I've cut out all my leaves and stems out of that. Yeah, these are scraps, but it's approximately 2 1/2 by 5 1/2, in which I've cut out Blushing Bride, cut out all my flower pieces, and I'll show you that in a minute. Piece of Flowering Fields DSP, and this is from a different die, but I got that. It's from that tulip paper. It's really pretty. I have a 1/2 inch strip of black, 3 1/2 by 7 1/2 inch piece of white, 3 3/4 by 7 3/4 inch piece of black, 8 by 8 inch card base. It's thick white. I'll be using the greenery embossing folder, stitched greenery die, excuse me. I'm using the windmill fields dies. That's for this die here. I'm using tulip dies, excuse me. Okay, so these are all the tulip dies. I've got one of those. There's 3 of these. I actually cut 4 of them because I'm going to use 2 for 1 flower. So I've cut all of these pieces for the tulips and 1 additional of this one. There comes with 3 of them. I cut 4. I cut all of these greens. I cut this one twice. I cut 2 of the large leaves and 3 of the small leaves, and then 1 long stem. And this is that die from the tulip fields one, or the windmill one. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in this 3 1/2 by 7 1/2 inch piece of white. Bring in the stitched greenery die. I'll put this on the top of it, about like that. And leave a little bit hanging off because it doesn't fit in there all the way anyways. I'll run that through my die cut machine, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I think you can see it. Cuts those nice little stitched greenery into the paper. It doesn't actually cut anything out, but it has this bottom section here that I'm going to go ahead and stamp on. So let's move these aside for a minute. I'll use Memento ink. Bring in that the stamp there. Just thinking of you today, and I'm going to stamp that down here in this bottom section. About 1/4 inch from the bottom and 1/4 inch from that right side. Okay. I see I missed a couple little bits on there, so I'm going to come in with my Stampin' Up marker. I'm just going to fill that in just a tiny bit. Just that's good. Doesn't have to be perfect, but there we go. Okay, now I'm going to bring in this little tulip piece and this 1/2 inch strip. multi-purpose glue. I'm going to adhere this. Should open my glue before I started the video. I'm going to adhere this to the black strip. Right down the center of it. Okay, then I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. I'm going to adhere this over this seam here. Now I'm going to move this for a minute because I want to make sure it's straight. Try to make sure it's straight. So I'm going to line this up on a line. There we go. So I'm going to use that grid lines to try and make sure it's straight. Okay, then I'm going to come in with some snips or some scissors. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to butt the scissors up against my card. I'm going to trim that off. Do both sides. Okay. Alright. This is going to get mounted to this black layer, which is 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. You're going to need quite a bit of adhesive, or a small amount over the whole thing, because it's die cut embossed. It's kind of has a little bit of waviness to it. There's going to be about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around because it's a 1/4 inch difference. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and put this aside for a minute. Let's work on those tulips. Okay. I'm going to bring in baby dimensionals, or the little dimensionals, the mini ones, and glue dots for this. Now you could add color to these. You could use designer series paper, whatever. And I'm not sure this is exactly how they're supposed to go together. It's just how I did figure it out. I'm going to do this one first. So it cuts this piece here. There's a score line in it right here, so we're going to bend that over so that this bottom matches up a little bit. We're going to bring in one of these. Put it on the back. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a glue dot. And on the bottom of this piece here, I'll put a glue dot. See? And like in the middle top part of this piece, I'm going to put a dimensional. Could use a big one here, but I just thought the smaller ones wouldn't show as much. Okay, I'm going to fold this where I want it and adhere it down. Okay, I'm going to bring one of these in. I'm going to do the same thing. However, I'm going to bring in my bone folder. Give it a little bit of a curl. And I'm going to put a glue dot on the bottom. Dimensional on the top section. This is going to go right over the top of that, to like that. Now that could be done right there. You wouldn't need to put the other one in the back, but I just thought it looked better. So I took one of these, another glue dot. This time I'm putting it on the front of it. And this goes right here in the back. Okay. And then I added another dimensional. Okay, so that's that first flower. Whoops, I just put that on the wrong side. I'm looking at it saying something's wrong here. Please don't rip, please don't rip, please don't rip. Well, it did a little bit, but we'll use it anyway. It goes on the back side, not on the front side. It goes back here. There we go. That looks better. Okay. So that's the first one. Then we're going to take the stem here. Go ahead and stick it up in here where the bottoms meet. We'll set that one aside. Okay, this one uses this piece, and one of those. Fold this one up, this one up. This is the back. Okay, and again, I'm going to put a dimensional up here. And this piece here comes in, gets tucked in there, like that. So that gets adhered to that. Add a dimensional here. Add a glue dot to the bottom of this. A glue dot to the bottom of this one. This little flap there. Fold this one over. Fold this one over on top. Okay, and then I took this one, if I can pick it up, and tucked it down in there like that. So let's get another dimensional. Tuck it down in there. Put it however high you want it, stick it down. And we're going to take the skinny stem for this one and stick that up in there. Make sure it adheres. So I'm gonna... No! Oh no! Sorry. I'll show you what he was doing. Oops, I want the stem to go this way. Okay. He was eating my paperback. Dear me. Okay. Go on, buddy. Go find a mousey. Now this one, I'm going to fold this one over. There's going to be a dimensional in this top part. Glue dots on both these pieces at the bottom. Fold this one in first. This little one over the top. I'm going to bring in this other little piece, this extra one that I cut. It doesn't necessarily need it, I just felt it did. Oh, I forgot to curl it, but that's alright. A little dimensional. This down here at the bottom. And this other stem, tucked up in there. Okay, so there's our flowers. Now we're going to bring in this piece here. So we'll bring in these stems that I've cut, and I'll get this out of the way. Alright, so we're going to bring in this one first. This one's going to go here. Probably should have put them down before I put the paper down, so I'm going to snip off the tip here so that it looks like it's underneath the bottom of that. Put glue on the back of it. And go ahead and put that down right here. Go here. This one goes over here. Before I glue that down all the way, let's put some leaves in. A large leaf here. Small leaves. It's going to go down here. Now I'll put that one here because I put glue on the wrong side of it. This other large leaf. Which way do I want it to go? Okay, then I came in with the gingham ribbon, and I made a little bow. Another glue dot. Stuck that ribbon down right about there. And this is going to get here to the front of our card. Before I stick it down, let me see if I can smooth this out a little bit with my sand eraser. where I tore the paper there, where I stuck it on upside down. Yeah, it's pretty good. I can always add another one right over the top, right? Okay, center this on the front of the card. And there we go. There's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Just so you can see, it's in a standard billing envelope, just like that. Well, thank you for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.